The Indianapolis Colts may be the biggest sleeper for the 2024 NFL season, as they went 9-8 despite all of the injuries, specifically to their quarterback position, Mr. Anthony Richardson, the guy they're hopeful is their franchise quarterback. We won't know because we really didn't get to see a whole lot. Gardner Minshew was the starting quarterback, and I'm not going to crap on him because he has quite the cult following. Definitely a lot worse quarterbacks you can have, but wasn't able to really push that team and carry them, if you will, into the playoffs. But they're now with Anthony Richardson, hopefully for the full year. Jelani Woods, another guy that was, out for the year, and he was good enough for the year before for EA to say, hey, this guy deserves star dev. So we have a star dev tight end who's huge and got some speed. Looking at the right tackle, Braden Smith missed some time. The offensive line, talking about one of my favorite words for rebuilds, future-proofing. They got themselves a future-proof center, a future-proof tackle who could, if coached up right, could play guard. Maybe that's the plan, but you can never have enough depth, especially at the tackle position. Gone calves. I mean, I'm not really sure how you play without the lower part of your legs. Looking at the wide receivers, Michael Pittman paid like the true number one wide receiver on this team, which he is. A 3-year, $70 million deal, 46 guaranteed. Then, of course, we're kind of jumping the gun a little bit, but in the second round, Adonai Mitchell compared to or comped to Mr. George Pickens, obviously a lot of value here with that draft pick. And now, realistically, they have their big three wide receivers. You got your two gigantic wide receivers on the outside, and then you have Josh Downs in the slot, who obviously had a pretty good season. Jonathan Taylor, despite the question marks at quarterback and the passing game, which wasn't that bad. It was kind of middle of the pack. Was still pretty good. Jonathan Taylor and this offensive line, it's a pretty good combination, right? And if Anthony Richardson's healthy and he even plays close to what the potential is for him, this could be a pretty dynamic offense. Obviously, with the tight ends, they've got 1 billion of them. They got the highest paid long snapper. I mean, how do you lose games with the highest paid long snapper and Joe Flacco on the same roster? You just don't. You simply don't. Then we move on to the defensive side of the ball. Obviously, Laiatu Latu, the problem is not his talent, but really the injury concerns. And of all the teams to be taking them, the Colts with a little bit of injury unluckiness lately. Do you like the odds? Regardless, comped to TJ Watt, which is a crazy comp, but obviously very, very talented. A lot of people viewed him as Edge 1 in this draft, and the Colts ended up getting pretty good value with him and Mitchell. So you can't really hate the Colts draft. They, in general, got good value pretty much every single round that they drafted a player in. And we have him at Superstar Dev because this is what I had him at for literally every rebuild we've done so far, whether he's on our team or not. And I'm going to continue that consistency, as obviously, it's only fair that we get to use the dev that I had him at. I haven't changed any of the devs of any of the players since literally maybe a couple of days after the draft ended when I downloaded this roster, which is It's Vic. Download on Next Gen Xbox. Also has a YouTube channel. Check them out. But yeah, looking at the rest of the defense, linebacker's a little bit of a concern. I imagine Ronnie Harrison's going to be playing linebacker or starting linebacker. Nick Cross at strong safety showed some potential. Blackman, of course, has been the starting free safety for a while. And a lot of these guys actually have gotten contract extensions. Buckner, Stewart, I believe Blackman, Kenny Moore. A lot of extensions on this team, so they definitely believe in a lot of the guys they have. Juju Brents had, showed some potential. I believe his name's Juju now rather than Julius. But as far as a rebuild standpoint goes, though, right guard, center, offensive line, if we can't afford them, maybe tight end. And then you look at the defensive side of the ball, DT2, potentially. All of the linebackers, probably. Maybe safety, and then probably at least a corner or two. But this is not a bad team in Madden. Once again, this is an ultimate sleeper roster. This team is not that bad. It's just they had pretty unopportunistic, unfortunate injuries at some pretty big positions. Like I said, at quarterback mainly. There's a reason why Joe Flacco's here now. And speaking of, there's a reason you're here now. If you're new to the channel, maybe subscribe. We do a ton of franchise stuff. A lot of people have been asking me about, quote-unquote, NCAA. I will definitely play it. I'm not exactly sure what content we're going to be bringing. Probably a Road to Glory series. Maybe some rebuilds. I, haven't played an NCAA game in literally a decade, so I definitely have to get back into it. But, yeah, if you're interested in that, that'll be on the channel at some point. And maybe it'll get moved to a second channel, but we'll see. And, yeah, if you end up liking the video, maybe leave a like. Helps the channel out a ton. And let's get into this rebuild. Also, let me know what team you want to see next. We did a poll recently. I might base it off of that, but there's definitely some teams that weren't mentioned. Regardless, let's go on. Have seen the Colts have some up and down success in rebuilds. Not a whole lot of Super Bowl success, but we'll see if that's what we can have here as we are going to be taking over this franchise. And of course, we kind of like touched on the center a little bit. You gross. But really haven't shown much of the other players because realistically, they're not going to play that much of an impact. Obviously, they grabbed a couple of safeties, you know, taking a shot in the dark here with some safetyage, if you will. But maybe I should start Charlie's. I don't know. But Nick Cross is my boy, so I got to give him the nod at least out the gate. Wait a minute. Is this a rebuild where Nick Cross develops into a star? I mean, he's literally a star, but higher than a star, 20k XP as well? He wants it for once. The ultimate sleeper. Holy crap, 5 upgrades. That's kind of crazy, though. The ultimate sleeper. Wow, what a start for those upgrades. 3 to awareness. I mean, let this guy get to 99 overall with upgrades like that. Holy. I'm not even going to lie. I feel like we've been scammed. 5 upgrade points, and we got 5 zone coverage. That's like 1 per, basically. That feels so bad. We're getting a really bad massage. Yo, it's happening. Nick Cross isn't looking back. Superstar dev year 1. So we have 47 million, and kind of a lot of backup talent. Like a lot of backup level talent right here. I don't think we need to re-sign any of these guys, and definitely don't want to. So, worse than real life, which is kind of ironic because this is the exact schedule they had. 6 and 11. Definitely not great. Could use a potential playbook change early on. Anthony Richardson, 3,200 yards with 25 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Jonathan Taylor, 1,400 yards, 10 touchdowns, just under 5 yards per carry, which is definitely better than what he had in real life. Jelani Woods was tight end 1, so apparently this Colts scheme, or whatever scheme it is, does all right for the tight ends. That could be borderline superstar, but everyone else, I mean, that's terrible, obviously. Ryman, yikes, 16 sacks allowed. Buckner, amazing. Everyone else, terrible, though. Definitely going to need some scheme changes. Moore could go to superstar, which would be great, because he, once again, signed a 3-year 30, I believe, so we definitely could, use him sticking around as long as possible. MVP goes to Lamar Jackson. Maybe we switch to that playbook, because I would like to use a playbook that at least has, Anthony Richardson utilizing the legs a little bit. But unfortunately, no dev-ups in sight from awards. Maybe a dev-up or 2 from just season stats, but it might not be some of the players that we really care about. And Phil Staff, I don't know why we need to. It seems pretty fine to me. Ravens, Eagles, have been seeing that matchup a little bit lately. And you got the Ravens winning the Super Bowl. Don't really think it's the scheme with the Ravens, because I've seen Lamar Jackson join a bunch of different teams, and he seems to win MVP or come close to it a lot of the times, but could be also interesting to go to the Ravens scheme. Let's take a look at the defense. Buckner goes to X Factor. EJ Speed goes to Star. And I don't think we got any other dev-ups. Even Kenny Moore sticks it out, which is really unfortunate. But Buckner getting back to X Factor is pretty nice, as, he's getting older too, 30 years old. Stewart, even though he got a 3-year deal as well, definitely be looking to future-proof and maybe replace him. But realistically, those off-ball linebackers, that's our real big number 1 issue. Corners up there too, but genuinely, it's the linebackers that we have a lot of issues with. Jelani Woods didn't go up in dev, which is unfortunate. He's 25 already. Could keep our options open at tight end, but I don't know if it's the scheme, but I felt like this team should have done better than it did. Negotiations, Kwity Paye at 25 years old. It's an interesting question, actually, because at 25, you're thinking, okay, he's not really progressed super hard. Maybe you do get that 5th-year option and then pay him if he actually deserves it. I think that's what we're going to do. We're actually going to play the more realistic option even than normal. 66 mil, technically less if you count that 5th year, but realistically, we could spend a little bit in free agency. I don't know if there's any position outside of corner that I think would be worth paying free agent top dollar for, but sometimes a player catches our eye and things change. Michael Pierce doesn't really fit what we need. Wide receiver's fun. Safeties are kind of older anyways. And then the corner options are worse / just too old, really. I don't really like the options. This is kind of a bad free agent group. I don't really think anyone's going to catch our eye here. Maybe Cesar Ruiz instead of Will Fries. Probably could just do better in free agency anyways. Jack Gibbons. Maybe Jack Gibbons. 3-year deal wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Feels like a Colt, kind of. We have pick number 8 overall. With that being said, we do have a couple of, guys up there. Realistically, it would be an edge rusher or a corner. I have no idea if the top 5 projected Dom Linton would be there, but realistically, we don't really need to push anything too hard, as we do have a couple of other guys like Griffin, Bowens, these safeties, specifically Rutherford, could play cornerback, but yeah, they have the edge rusher Miguel Campanero, who looks pretty damn good, so we might let it slide, but if, it's pick 5 or 6, the corner and the edge are still there, maybe you make a move to get one, but they could also go pick 1 overall, which thankfully isn't the case. Still looking good. Linton. Ooh, okay, so if we want that edge rusher, who does look pretty good, I'm going to take one more look at him. He looks good, and he has a better ceiling than pay, but at the same time, pay still has a chance. It's not a 5-year option. If Campanero is there, Campanero, whatever, which he's not, I would have taken him. But I don't think it was worth the trade-up when that wasn't our glaring need. And most of the picks that are up here are like offensive lineman and wide receiver, which we just don't really need. And I really didn't want to trade back this far, but I really think the Ravens are giving me a trade I cannot regret. I would regret. I can't deny. I have to take that, I think. A first round next year, even if they are... 32nd again, that is insane value. 2 firsts and a second. And I know it's up there. Pick 8 is high. But at the same time, we could still probably move around to 20. Maybe trade up like a 3rd round pick to get up from 32, something like that. And still end up holding on to that whole first round next year. And we made a trade up with the Bills. We ended up having to give up a pretty decent 3rd round. I think it was pick 72. A 5th this and a 6th this with Granson to the Bills to go up 10 spots. I think this is going to be the cornerback Bowen. As much as I really do like the DTs that are there, corner is quote-unquote a necessary need like right now. Could have maybe actually waited for the safety as well to go, because Rutherford's actually pretty good too. Don't know the zone coverage, but he has a B man coverage, and he's pretty athletic, but I think Bowens is going to be the guy we go with. 5'10", so a little undersized, but they got Kenny Moore. It's worked out for them, so get yourself another Kenny Moore, and he's heading dev. Yeah, I mean, he looks really good. Good change of direction. Maybe more of a slot corner, but that's all right. And we're going to move on to pick 8 in the 2nd round. I think there should be value there no matter what. And if not, we can just trade down again. What else do we have? Anyone? The tight end looks pretty good. Kerry Kingsbury. Definitely need to see his speed, though, because I'm pretty sure it was lacking. Oh, you still have Gregory Kirkland there. You would still get that DT. If Kingsbury's not that fast, I'm going DT. Or, well, I guess, yeah, DT. Oh, Kingsbury is fast, though. I'm going to go Kerry Kingsbury. He's hidden dev. 84 speed, lower than I would have thought, but I think he's tight end 1. It's not like, our tight end was a bad tight end, but he's 25 already, and I like the value. 2 good tight ends. This team loves their tight ends. Why not? Now we are all the way at 32 in the 2nd round, and unfortunately do not have another pick till like the 4th round. We need linebacker. We need O-line, kind of. Not really as much as linebacker, though. DT, there's a nose tackle type. I think if you're going to go with anyone, it's probably going to be a linebacker. Is there anyone that I'm willing to go with right this instant, or should I wait? Oh, Riley looks good. Let's see how fast Riley is. Marcus Riley, 21 years old. Ooh. Okay, I kind of got lied to. That left side looks terrible. Jake Whitworth, very athletic. He's a 2-3. A zone coverage. I'm going to take a chance. Thank you. Athletic as hell. Change direction's a little iffy, but he's white. I know. I knew what I was getting into. Let's slow sim it until we're kind of down to like one player that's worthy of trading up for. Costs us a little bit, but we traded a 4th, a 6th, and a 7th this year with a 5th next year to move up like 20 spots-ish with the Saints, which I believe is going to be a linebacker. Sharpton just went, so kind of went with the best available. You do have a really good guard in Franklin as well, who could probably play a linebacker if you really wanted to. But Mitchell Thorne, I think, is going to be my choice. Don't know about the block shed too much or the zone coverage, but I know some of the other ratings are decent. He's very athletic. Even if he's not hidden, as long as he's in the 70s, it's already an upgrade. And, ooh, he isn't in the hidden development line. That kind of sucks, but we need a linebacker desperately. We got 2 of them. And look at these punters. They're so bad. They're literally, like, they're all F. They're terrible. We're going to go with a B across the board fullback, I suppose. Normal dev. Let's take a look at the draft recap. Hopefully that corner's good because we did trade up a decent bit. 76, 74, 73, 73. I can live with those overalls. I can definitely live with them. Peter Bowens might even become the #1 corner right out the gate as he looks pretty damn good and debatably the best corner on the team unless we put Brent's the tall man in the slot. I don't really know how that would make any sense. Star Dev, I think that might be the plan of action. We'll see. 74 overall for Kingsbury. Definitely a higher ceiling than the tight end we had, Jelani Woods. I don't know. I kind of feel like maybe we shouldn't have made this selection. Star Dev as well. Once again, he has a way higher ceilings already the same overall, but it does feel like maybe we could have just traded down, grabbed 2 linemen with that trade instead. But either way, the tight end does look pretty good, so what can I really say about it? New middle linebacker looks pretty decent. Dev, oh, he's a lot better than decent. I need to see the difference between him and the guy we almost took, Riley. But thankfully he wasn't. Like, if Riley had the same kind of left side, like, you know, elite speed, great change of direction, that kind of stuff, we absolutely would have went with him. So I really need to see how close of a call we were to making the wrong choice, because Riley was going to be my guy. He was absolutely going to be my guy. 75 overall. Maybe he was good, too. Oh. Yikes. He's not a bad player, but yeah. 3 dev difference. That's massive. Kind of curious to see the cornerback we could have had as well. Obviously, we had to play the approach of just wait and see. Griffin would have been... Oh, he's normal dev. Okay. Griffin would have been my choice as well. He would have definitely been my choice as well. Campanero, he was 74 overall. Hidden dev. Kind of went too far there. Pretty athletic. Great finesse. Decent block shed, actually, especially for an edge rusher. Dev. Star dev. Okay, not dodging a bullet, but definitely could have been worse. Linton, the 79 overall cornerback, very, very good. Oof. The 5'11 is just kind of the sweet spot for corner. What's the dev? Star dev. Okay, I mean, not really much better than our guy then with Star. And that's really all I cared about. The year 2 team. Anthony Richardson did not have the best year 1. Maybe I switched to Buffalo because I feel like Anthony Richardson, you know, the size and the speed and the arm strength and all that, he kind of has some similar-ish, you know, traits, obviously. And then you look at some of the other players, though. It didn't really change much on the offense other than Kingsbury is the new tight end. Jelani Woods did have potential, I can't lie. But at the same time, he is already, even though he's faster, more raw than Kingsbury, who is 4 years younger than him. I just know how this Madden thing goes, all right? And also, I don't know why no one forgot to remind me that we had Gibbons. I'm starting the rookies, though. Better chance to develop. It's almost similar to our Bison's franchise. A lot of people want me to start Graves over Jadarius Lewis, which makes sense, but if we're going realism, it makes sense to start the guy that's played better. But in a rebuild sense, you know, you don't really have that time necessarily, and you're forcing it more. So I feel like you gotta start the rookies, right? You know, even starting Franklin here is pretty dumb, but at least Franklin is significantly higher of an overall. But yeah, this is the team going into year 2. Probably going to run Buffalo offense. Ooh, Quiddy Pays a superstar dev. I guess I'm glad Campanero didn't go to us. And I also... Wait, Buckner should have a 2-year deal. Does he not have... What's his dealage? It should have been a 2-year 46, I believe, is what he got paid in real life. I guess not. So I think right now it would be... I don't even know, dude. I don't even know how to do this. I'm just going to say it's a 2-year 46, and then get rid of the... Or maybe it would make sense, because he did 1 year... I don't know, dude. 2-year 46. That's all I know. Either way, it is what it is. It probably costs us more doing it this way, because at his overall and his age, I think it's usually around 20-ish per mil. Maybe I'm wrong. Will Fries, he's actually not bad. Ryan Kelly, still not too bad. We'll see what we want to do, because don't have much to draft other than offensive linemen, so why pay someone that's kind of regressed? We have a sliver of a chance to make the playoffs. Not a great one, but a chance. And we did finish 9-8, but unfortunately did not make the playoffs. I know their real life pain now. Looking at Anthony Richardson in the Buffalo scheme, actually pretty good. 32 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, just over 4,100 yards. Jonathan Taylor seemed to love the scheme as well. The rushing numbers weren't that great, but Pittman and Mitchell, their numbers were up. Downs was up, ironically enough. Kingsbury, not a bad season for a tight end. Let's look at the offensive line play. Really good, actually. Smith might have done enough for a dev up, perhaps. But looking at defense, even though we changed the defensive scheme, Still not a whole lot to show for. Buckner even had a down year. A little disappointing, can't lie. Matt Gay missed only one kick. Bjorquez is back, and he was pretty good. Over 50 yards per punt is a win in my book. Let's take a look at the yearly awards. MVP goes to Mahomes. Looking at other awards, nothing for us. Nothing for us. Rookie of the Year, number 3. Urban at number 10. Who is even this? I don't even know who that is. Defensive Rookie of the Year, though, the linebacker, Whitworth won it. Thorne at 6. Bowens at 7. Quarterback at 6. Running back at 5. Wide receiver, surprisingly not on the list. O-line at 3, 4, and 8, who is really a backup anyways. D-line, definitely not on the list. Linebacker, a bunch of the kind of same names. DB, no. Kicker at number 2. No playoffs, but a much better, improved season. Speaking of the Bills, they're in the Super Bowl, facing off against the San Francisco 49ers. Maybe that is a winning scheme after all. Went with the Chiefs defense. They used to have success with it. Didn't really work out this time, and the Bills do win the Super Bowl. Let's take a look if we had any dev-ups. Richardson would have been borderline superstar, I think. And he gets a superstar. Fair enough. Like I said, I think it would have been borderline, but I didn't expect it. Definitely didn't expect it. He must have just did enough, which we love to see. Clutch, speaking of, juke move or jukebox as well. No dev-ups for the wide receivers, which is unfortunate. And then defensively, I don't think we had... Oh, no, Kenny Moore. Huge dev-up, actually, for him, because he was Oh, yeah, and Thorne. But huge dev-up for him, because he's obviously on the older side. He's 30 now, but we love to see that. Superstar dev, it extends careers, especially for the DBs, so much. Obviously, Whitworth was already an X-Factor. What a draft pick that was. Of course, he should be an X-Factor. He's got experience. I mean, he looks like he was working with the Mafia for a good 40 years and then decided to play in the NFL. Looks really good, though. But let's take a look at the defense for the linebacker, Thorne, who went up in star dev. Can't even remember what kind of season he had, but apparently a good one, as he is, once again, star development trait. Starting off in normal. Yeah, a bunch of tackles, actually, so fair enough there. Pretty good stuff. Bowens, he's 82 overall already. We actually had a really good season. At least it was, meaningful, and we still will have a decent draft pick on top of it. So let's take a look quickly at retirements. I don't think we would have had any other than maybe some backups. We had all backups. T.Y. Hilton retires a Colts. Luke Rhodes, the highest paid long snapper, is retired as well. Save a little bit of money there. Highest paid, but it's still like a 3 or 4 point something, which, don't get me wrong, that would be a great salary. I don't know what kind of dangers they're really put in, and I know it's not like an easy thing to do, because then everyone would do it, but still. EJ Speed, that's all I got for you. Don't really care too much. A couple of backup level players. Will Fries does want to join back. I'm kind of curious to see what the contract's like. He's a pretty good... he's actually not a bad blocker. So he's a weird blocker, though. Right? Because he's got, pass block power, but no pass block finesse, despite having good run block finesse. He's actually not a bad player by any means. Even if he doesn't start, I'm willing to pay that for a backup. That's fine. What about Ryan Kelly? Didn't actually go down either. I'm pretty sure he's one of those, way better than his overall dictates. And I wouldn't say way better, but definitely better. And the offensive line did play pretty well. If he wants to take the base contract, I'm down. 63 mil, and we're not really losing any of our starters. Free agency. I'm trying to think of what we would actually pay money for. Corner, I mean, really, it would just be like replacing Kenny Moore, which doesn't make any sense because they're both about the same age anyways. But Ward is really good. You can't deny it. Offensive line, Wyatt Teller would be an improvement over Fries. Kind of. He'd be a longer-term improvement over him, to be fair. On Lee McNeil, you don't really see him star dev too much. I'm kind of curious to see what Stewart's, not contract looks like, but what he looks like. Because even though Lee McNeil's never really done a whole lot for me, he probably has a higher ceiling and plays the same pretty much run-stopper position that he does. So if I could even take like a 10 mil dead hit to trade him off for like a 4th-round pick, I would do it. What about Stewart? Let's see. So Stewart is a pretty good overall, 87 block shed. You're basically getting rid of Stewart for another Stewart. And I don't even know if his contract's correct. He didn't need a contract. I didn't change him or anything. I changed Pittman out the gate because I knew for a fact that wasn't factored in. But I don't know, that Lee McNeil move, I mean, that's a decent little move. Although he's 15 mil per year, actually. So, yeah, I'm just going to let it happen, and maybe we future-proof the position by drafting a DT. I think we're fine with what we got, to be honest. Corner, we'd be nicer to a little upgrade, but we don't really need that either. So, yeah, realistically, we're just kind of looking for offensive linemen right now. And I guess another linebacker, which I don't think there was one in there. So before we go into the draft, we have to show you that the Ravens actually were not the best team in the world. They were 9-8, similar to us. They won 4 games in a row, which is unfortunate because it would have been even better of a draft pick. But we'll show you guys, there was no forced wins or anything like that involved. The Ravens had a down year. I mean, it happens. It happens to the best of them. You can see here they actually finished out really strong, like we said, and ended up getting us a worse pick than it could have been. I believe we have picks that are like right next to each other. I have a troubling decision to make because while our tight end is pretty good, I don't know if this is a generational tight end, but he looks like one. A catch, A deep, A medium, A short, insanely athletic. We have Jelani Woods already. You have this guy, Dylan Taylor. I mean, this tight end room looks insane. I don't know what to tell you. Do I go with one of them just because they look like can't-miss players? Even though we really don't need the position, I would rather go like Perkins. I mean, do you not just go with him because he looks insane? Paul Young. I wish I would have scouted him further. I just put him on my list because he looked great. I mean, some really athletic build. I think because I don't need tight end, I'm going to pass on him. I think I'm going to regret it, but that is okay. It's really not okay, but it is what it is anyways. Cornerback, really the best option. Crowder looks really good too. The value looks great. I think cornerback is going to be my choice. Not that I even necessarily need a corner, but that he could play safety for us. Vernon Perkins, hidden dev, 91 speed. It doesn't really have those insane athletics, ratings that you would kind of expect. So, did Harvin really go one pick after that? Oh my God, you got to be kidding me. I took the corner thinking that the corner would go before the DT, and I guess I'm a moron. I suppose you have some other great options that are 2 to 3s anyways. I think because we have that luxury, I'm going to take Paul Young. I would have taken Harvin. If not, Paul Young's my guy. Hidden dev, 88 speed, 91 XL. We have every tight end in the league. Let's just be real. We have every single tight end. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what you think. We have every single one of them. The Bears, do they need a tight end? I'll take one of those draft picks off their hands if they don't mind. And any defensive tackle could be great or not great. Gordon McFadden, is he 21? He is 21. I think is going to be my choice here. Thank you. If he was normal dev, I would have felt so dumb. I don't care if the other guys behind him I could have taken later are better. Doesn't matter to me. It does not matter. I'm going to try to trade Jelani Woods to the Bears. I don't know what I'm going to get off of them, but I'm going to try to get a higher draft pick. Let's see what we can do. Can we do Jelani Woods and like 113? If they take it, I'm down. Oh, they do not take that. They do not. What about this? This could be good. Damn. Does nobody want Jelani? Jelani Woods, a 4th this and a 5th next to get to 85 with the Rams. Could use another linebacker. Could definitely use another lineman. So we'll see what happens. I'm gonna, kind of go down until we're down to like last couple of picks that I think are worthy of taking. Got a couple of speedy wide receivers, specifically Bernard. I would like to get. Silva's great. Cheeks looks pretty good actually. I might trade up for Cheeks, who has more versatility than. I guess so does Silva, even though he's listed at center. DT we already got. Linebacker. Farmer or Loftus or Ely. Yeah, let's just keep Simmons. There's some pretty good options. We trade up with our pick 81 with Ebukam and Jalen Jones, who's really young, 23-year-old, 72 overall, to move up 14 spots in the 3rd round. We have 21 still, which might need to be traded up for with a linebacker. I've seen linebacker fall before, though. Unfortunately, Cheeks went, but Lance Silva looks pretty good, too, and that's who we're going to be taking. Thankfully, Hidden Dev can move him across the line, which is nice. Might even be our starting right guard, as Fries' ceiling is obviously maxed out. We use a future 6 and a 7 to move up 5 or 6 spots with the Ravens. I don't know why the Ravens would trade with us. They seem to only take the L when they make those trades, but we are going to be grabbing the remaining linebacker that we want. Charlie Loftus doesn't look amazing, but he looks good enough. He's going to be a starter no matter what, and he's hidden. Definitely starter when he's in dev, but Jack Gibbons is the backup. I think that's fine. I don't really hate the money we spent on him. 17 in the 6th round. If one of those speedy wide receivers there, I'm definitely going to grab them And then maybe we go for a kicker or a punter or something in the 7th round. I think that makes great use of the rest of our draft picks. I don't know who's faster, but Bernard looks better with that A deep route. 6'1", 4'2", I mean, there's no chance McDougal is getting chosen over him, so I'm not really sure why I'm looking. Yeah, McDougal is not as fast as I thought. I think the 2 Cs were enough. Bernard for sure. And he's hidden dev. I mean, that was about the easiest to see, like, sleeper gem of all time, maybe? Maybe all time. I'd say that's a safe argument. Not only were his potential grades decent, but also he just was fast. I mean, divine A kick power or accuracy with no power, really. And then the only other option, realistically, would be this guy, Colin Britton. Ooh, could use him. But we also have a B kick accuracy, elite kick power guy. I don't think we really need a kicker right now, so I'm going to be going with, was it Britton? I think it was Colin Britton. Elite kick power is good enough for me. Boom! Normal dev, unfortunately, but good kick power. And looking at the overalls, he could be generational. 77, 80, everyone else is 70 plus. Let's take a look at Vernon Perkins. I suppose we'll go down in a line. Perkins, really good corner, could actually end up playing cornerback for us, but as of right now, I'd project him to be a free safety. I don't know what Blackman's looking like these days, but here is Mr. Paul Young, probably going to be tight end 1. I mean, he looks pretty incredible. He looks really good. If he's a generational, we have made a great decision. Number 84, I guess, Dev. Worth the pick 100%. I mean, at that point, it was one of those Raiders-type picks where you just, you take that generational tight end. You just feel like it was worth the value. McFadden, he's a future player, so it doesn't really matter what his dev is, although star would have been nice to see higher, but it could have also been normal, so I'm not going to complain about it. Anyone else? We had Silva, the center, probably going to be playing guard for the future, but not right now, maybe. Maybe sits a year. Definitely could do a little bit better at future-proof in this offensive line position, but at least we did, we took one step in the right direction. We got one. Charlie Loftus, I think he's our new right outside linebacker. Actually pretty balanced. A little raw, obviously, but balanced anyways. Let's take a look at the dev. Star dev, no X-Factor luck this time. And then the wide receiver, Bernard, who probably will be a generational superstar, like a generational burner, if you will. Number 88, that's a number. That's definitely a number for the Colts. Yep, superstar dev. He is really good, but let's put him in the single digits. Let's put number 10, actually. And the punter, 73 overall. If somebody drafted that kicker, I'd like to see how good he was. That punter's pretty good, in fairness. Let's take a look at the other tight end, though, because Taylor looked great, too. Wait, there was another tight end! Oh, he's slower, though. Corey White. Antonio Brown with no speed. 82 speed, 23-year-old. They took over the guy we took? Are you crazy? 2 generationals. Yeah, I mean, I kind of felt like it was one of those drafts. It was one of those drafts that had like a bunch of really good tight ends. Here's Dylan Taylor to the Bengals, who got themselves a great one, too. Normal dev, though. Very athletic anyways, but a little bit of a yikes. I really don't care about what Harvin looks like because there was no way he was better than the guy we just drafted. Even if this guy's a generational, he's an X-Factor, he's not as good as that tight end because that tight end is unique in his speed. And yeah, he wasn't an X-Factor, which doesn't really surprise me at all. Wow. All right. Not a bad draft. Not necessarily all of the positions we needed, but the value is immense, and we had to do it. Here we are with the team for Season 3. It's looking pretty good. Obviously, Mitchell hasn't really developed super quickly, but he's still insanely young. Definitely would like to see that release/deep route get up there, but he's a very good short route receiver as it stands. Richardson getting a superstar was a little bit of a shock, but definitely welcomed. Young, it's weird because he's not really 6'6". It's not really the same as Kyle Pitts, but he feels like a Kyle Pitts clone. Kind of, not really, I don't know. But the offensive line, we have a replacement for Fries next season in Silva. We need a new center going forward, though. And then Braden Smith's not the youngest guy in the world anymore either. 29, he's a little bit younger than I thought, in fairness. But still, future-proof of the offensive line is definitely one of the upcoming needs. Safety, I was kind of thinking maybe Brents plays free safety in the future, but he's already 25, and his ceiling's kind of like slowly getting reached, so free safety might be a focal point for us going forward. And then McFadden hopefully is the DT of the future. Probably need another one, though, because DeForest Buckner's not the youngest either. But the team's definitely well on its way. It's a young squad that actually has still really good overalls. Alec Pierce is going to need a contract. Roy Aldridge is, I mean, he's younger, so we'll take a position we need depth at versus a position we don't need depth at. I don't think money's going to be a problem for us, but let's see what we got. So Nick Cross, that is a fair contract. Kwity Paye got to Superstar Dev, which was massive. We'll see how he's actually playing. Kenny Moore, corner's not a problem for us, but the value is there. Buckner, I think he can easily play another season. Ryman will get the contract. Blackman, I think, gets replaced. Braden Smith, if we can afford him, he'll get the contract. Stewart definitely gets replaced, and I think we replace those two linemen. So money isn't necessarily a problem, even though we have Anthony Richardson's fifth-year option coming up. But there's some pretty expensive contracts in here, especially in the trenches. But as far as Nick Cross goes, he has finally become the guy I knew he always could be. Kwity Paye, as much as he's a superstar, we will have to take a look at how he's playing. I mean, that's pretty mid. I mean, he's probably on par for like 7 or 8 sacks. I'm willing to do the 2-year 21, 22, 23, whatever he's going to ask for. But anything more, I think, is just a stupid move. I mean, he really hasn't played like a guy that is worth that contract. 1-year 24 for Buckner, doesn't take it. I mean, at this point, the tag might be cheaper for him. Ryman, I think a 3-year deal is perfectly fine. Thankfully, somebody accepts it. And then Braden Smith, I really want to keep him, but man, this contract is going to cost well over 20 per, which is a lot of money. See if it actually will cost over 20 per. Let's do 10.5 each side. There you go. There you go. 69 million left, and I mean, we really don't have many players to pay. You bump Buckner a little bit, and then you debate if you even want Kenny Moore, as he could regress pretty hard, and you know, he's a small guy. Change to the Buffalo defense, but the offense is still the Buffalo offense, and that kind of sucks. I feel like if we would have won that game, we would have had the bye week. I lied. The Chiefs were 17-0. The Chargers can beat us. Oh, but you had 2 chances at beating the Chiefs. Couldn't do that. Actually, I don't know what I'm talking about. The Chargers didn't even beat us. We're playing them now. Maybe I'm foreshadowing. I'm curious to see, though, what the season was like. Nope, they couldn't beat us. Okay, never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about, but 17-0 for the Chiefs. That is not a good look when it comes to our chances of winning this season. Jonathan Taylor in the top 3 for yards. Look at Richardson. This Bills scheme, I'm going to have to take a look at it real quick just to make sure, because sometimes when I do change the scheme, sometimes it like clicks one over. Maybe that's where the Chiefs is. I don't know, but I'm going to take a look after this. Blocking was pretty good. Receivers were decent. Quarterback and running back, though, were amazing. Kwity Paye stepped it up a little bit. Latu has still done basically nothing, though, unfortunately. Matt Gay was okay. Britton, good 53.2 or 1 yards per punt. Richardson could have won MVP. I am genuinely shocked he's all the way down at number 5. I cannot lie. Any actual awards? Offensive and Defensive Rookie of the Year. Chiefs won pretty much everything that wasn't those awards, though. Definitely want to see, though, the scheme real quick. As like I said, I'm pretty damn sure it's Bills offense and defense. We do have West Coast spread on. But fair enough. All right, I haven't really used the Bills scheme too often, so maybe this is the new move, especially if you have a scrambler that can also throw a good, strong fastball. We're at 89, they're at 88. We'll see if our 13-4 means anything. All right, to the end of the game. It'd be nice to at least win a game. I know just making the playoffs, especially at the record we were, is already improvement. But I feel like this is a playoff win at least type of season. Really good comeback here as we were down 14-3. Entering the fourth quarter here, we're up by 6 now. Now it's a 1-point game. Trevor down for the field goal, but with 4 minutes left, I mean, this really won't take much for them to score the go-ahead points. And we're supposed to be trying to stop them. We can't, and with literally 1 second left, we are on the field. Wow, we could not have played worse on defense on that final drive. Well, gonna give it to the best offensive player we have, unless you want to count Richardson, which even then, I'd say you probably argue Taylor's the best. You're basically asking for a miracle on the screen pass. Got a pretty good offensive line, in fairness. And, of course, it's Derwin James that meets us. 0 passing touchdowns is never going to get it done. It really won't. And a really good season just completely wasted, losing to a team that almost never wins a Super Bowl in the Chargers. Camaro is their starting running back. Taylor was really bad in the sim, despite being a top 3 yards gainer. Sack totals, Latu and Bosa with sack each. Jake Whitworth was pretty good. Kicking was... I mean, we just didn't score enough on offense. As much as you want to blame the defense, because that final drive was atrociously defended against 5 minutes, and they just walked it off. Literally, like, at the goal line. Like, it was like a formality that they kicked the field goal. They probably could have ran it in, but they wanted to waste every second they could. But still, the offense didn't score enough. If it was like 30 points, yeah, I blame the defense. But 24, that's like right around. It's like, okay, that's a little high, but it's understandable. It's the playoffs. And the Chiefs, they win, have completed an undefeated season. You cannot beat an undefeated season. Kind of rooting for the Cowboys for once. Weird. Doesn't matter. The Chiefs have gone undefeated. That is crazy. Almost never see that. Really, literally almost never see that. Let's take a look. Show the fact that they actually won the whole season, really. I mean, they won the NFL. I mean, they're freaking 20-0. I mean, talking about a dynasty that'll never be beaten at that point. Either way, we are going to take a look at our retirements. Also want to see what kind of... Oh, Joel Batonia retired. That's a little interesting. I want to see what kind of regressions we had. None of our, like, main guys retired. We did pay, like, all of the guys that we were kind of... Other than Kenny Moore, that we were expecting to pay. Really worried about Buckner, though. 87 overall. On the older side, but probably still fine. 90 million money is really not a problem. Anthony Richardson, he's going to ask for a lot of money no matter what. I'm trying to debate on, you know, if that means I should re-sign him now or not. I'm trying to think, like, what does that actually mean? The fact that he's red interest. I wish I could tell what that red interest was. Like, is it something that'll actually change? If it's 55 mil per, though, or, you know, if it's 55 mil in the year, what's even the point? I might as well just pay him 60 per, at the, you know, and save the chance of having to pay 65 per, you know? Like, you rarely ever find a good use of the fifth-year option. It's really, really rare. Like, maybe like an off-ball linebacker, because EA thinks that all edge... Oh, X Factor. Oh, X Factor. Oh, X Factor. Wait, Mitchell went up in dev? That's pretty nice. But yeah, they just think edge, you know, off-ball is the same as edge, so... Doesn't really matter. Every linebacker's an edge rusher. Jonathan Taylor, unless you're a middle linebacker, of course. X Factor, and then obviously Anthony Richardson, we should have known about because we literally showed him as an X Factor when the re-signings. Loftus goes to Superstar, and I don't believe we had anyone else go up in Superstar dev. Buckner did drop, but that's fine. I'd still be willing to pay that 25 that we did offer him, so it's fair enough. I'm not really... Oh, no. Loftus is a pass rusher, apparently. I might actually have to drop his pass rush ability now because... It's the only way he'll actually get the ratings he needs. Charlie Loftus, needing that coverage. We'll hopefully remember to do that. But yeah, going into this offseason, definitely need an offensive lineman, at least one or two. Wide receivers are perfectly fine. Running back, quarterback, tight end, all of that's great. Defensively, could definitely use a DT of the future, even though Aldridge, I think, might have been... No, I thought he was a bigger dude. I guess not. Good edge depth, though, especially since we're going to lose Pierce anyways. Quiddy Pay, he did better. 2-year 25 as well, so we're fine there. Corner, I don't know if Kenny Moore, did he need a contract or no, he didn't retire. We just let him go. It is what it is, though, because our corners are fine. Let's go to free agency. If there's anyone, Greg Newsome's actually a pretty big name. I think we're doing fine without having to do the moves that might not make sense in real life. Joe Tooney, though, I could easily see him being a free agent. You know, he's on one of the biggest, like, cap casual teams going forward potentially, so I think I'm going to offer him a contract to play right guard for us, and I don't see why he wouldn't join us, and he does. Our offensive line actually improves technically, which is great. Whereas if Greg Newsome is a 90 overall 26-year-old corner, I don't see how they don't find a way to pay him, you know? Pick 24, there's really not one need that we have more than anyone, really. Like, it's offensive line for the future, really. It's just future-proofing, honestly. Who's this guy? Obviously, you don't really look too much at the round one projected players because, well, usually they're just not going to be there. Looks like a decent finesse-type tackle, and, you know, I really wasn't expecting to go offensive line in the first round, but... Maybe there's something there to be said. Maybe. Let's take a look at what we got, though. So, offensive line, it would basically be Edgar and Pace, if not that tackle. Do have Spillman, he's 1-2. Do have Moss, he's a 1-2, I really like. And then you have Hamilton. I mean, you really don't have much depth at the DT spot if you don't go DT here. It's really future-proof. You know, what do you think you need to future-proof more? And... You know what? I actually really like James Moss here. I think the value is crazy. He's 22, which kind of sucks. Oh, 40 reps. Okay. Yeah, I mean, he sold it. And then with pick 24, I would like a new safety as we lost Blackman. Really just kind of come down to whoever is best available at safety. I think Madison is the latest guy I have. But there also is some corners, so maybe I don't want to lose those guys unless they're already gone. Yeah, I mean, you got some pretty good corners here, too. He's 6'4", free safety, be crazy. I think I might go for him. Ford or Whitfield, whoever's last or remaining. What about this guy, though, Floyd? Assad Floyd, he's 5'9". He's pretty good, too. I mean, we've got a lot of options here, so it's not a bad thing to have. We give up a 7th-round pick to move up 2 spots with the Bills, which is going to be a safety. Instead of going corner route, I'm going to go with an actual safety, even though he is 5'9". Spillman's there, too, which is... the value's there, but we don't really need him. But Assad Floyd is going to be our choice here. Does have pretty good tackle, good hit power, and hidden dev. I don't hate it. And somehow at 24, Edgar's still there. I have no choice. And he's hidden. That was a great draft, to be honest. Oh, Pace went 1 pick before us. I just completely forgot about him. Oh, that sucks. Gonna grab this wide receiver Boatwright. Looks pretty fast, so... wasn't super fast, but he was fast enough for me to try. And we have no other picks. Okay, that's sweet. See you later, I guess. Screw having a deep draft class. But that's why I didn't really trade up any higher than we did. Didn't really want to get rid of too much of next year's stuff. No. We're trying to look at the draft recap, see what we did for ourselves. And, I mean, not bad. 76 overall, hidden dev safety. Late second. Let's take a look at James Moss, the future defensive tackle. Really good block shed, decent power move, and strong as hell. Decent athleticism at 308. I mean, that's basically a Grover Stewart 1-to-1 replacement, no? Star dev would have been nice if he's higher, but that's fine, obviously. Then we look at Floyd, who is an automatic starting free safety for us. 80 zone coverage. I would imagine some of those other corners are a little bit better, but I'm not going to hate it. Star dev, where is my damn superstar dev? Got Bob Sanders over here. Can't even get a freaking superstar dev for him. And then Tanner Edgar, I mean, he's a lineman. He's a backup lineman as well, in general. Right guard for the future, at best, I suppose. Let's take a look at the dev. Start up. So we had a great regular season and a really anticlimactic end to our playoffs. Of course, the team is really good on offense. We have a 90 overall wide receiver 1, 96 running back 1, a 90 overall tight end, 83 overall wide receiver 2, but he's only 24 with superstar, so he's probably going to get to an 88 plus by the end of the regular season. We got a brand new right guard who's amazing. Our new center's not too much worse, I suppose, than Ryan Kelly. Linebackers on defense, Loftus at superstar should make him progress really fast as well. Floyd, his ceiling's a lot better. Moss, believe it or not, is already DT2 because he's a higher overall than McFadden, which kind of means maybe McFadden needs to be replaced the following season because he'll be DT2 after being in the league already 2 seasons, going on his 3rd year. Corners do take a little bit of a hit, but Perkins and Bowens are very high potential guys. And then Latu and Pay, inconsistencies, especially from Latu, have been really unfortunate, but maybe this is the year they put it together and they have an elite season together. A lot of money, but also a lot of names to pay, I would imagine. Taylor, that's probably a 3 or a 4 year deal. Anthony Richardson gets the whole whack. Adonai Mitchell gets the full whack. Pittman will debate. Nelson definitely gets a contract. Josh Downs gets a contract. Brent might not get the contract. Buckner definitely does not get the contract. Tooney probably doesn't, but we'll see where we're left with money-wise. And the future, we have to pay Bowens, which is fine. So I think when we're all said and done, we might have about 40 mil left. We'll see. So as of right now, it's 46 per. He was, asking for 55.5? 50 mil per over 7? I mean, that's a great deal for us. Damn, son! I mean, that was a lot higher than what his base asking price was. 4 year 61. That's good for a running back these days. Mitchell, this is really low for a wide receiver, but you win some, you lose some. This is going to be a losing battle for us with Pittman. Do I want him for more than 2 years? Probably not. Will I even get that asking price if it was, 20 mil per year? Probably not, but yeah, 2 year 20, 2 year 40, 20 per is not going to go. Quentin Nelson's obviously still going to be fine for a long time, so 4 year 92 for him. And we go with Josh Downs. So we're actually in a really good spot, maybe even better than I thought financially. As we have 60 mil left, and all we have to really do is bump some of the contracts, asks up, which tells me that, yeah, we could probably pay Joe Tooney. Let's just knock that out right away, too. We were by far the best team in our division. Not as good as the last season, but still a good season nonetheless. Did the Chiefs go undefeated again? Oh, my God. What would their streak be? Because I don't know exactly what their win-loss was, but at, week 7, I believe, we were undefeated, and then they beat us. And then we started losing a lot of games. It was actually a little bit sooner than that. Week 6, We won 3 in a row after and then lost 2, and we were starting to lose some games after that. The Chiefs got their only loss the second to last week. That is an insane win streak that would probably never be beaten. But let us take a look at our season stats. Anthony Richardson, number 2 for yards. Touchdowns were down, picks were a little bit up, but the yards were great. Rushing, Jonathan Taylor was a lot worse. Pittman, amazing, could go to superstar. Downs, pretty decent. Mitchell, pretty decent. Young, not bad. Offensive line, Tooney was great. Offensive line in general was great. Edge, Latu with 8 sacks is an improvement. Buckner 7.5. Pay at 5. I don't understand what's going on with this pass rush. This is an amazing team, and I mean, most of it has been amazing, most aspects, but edge, pass rush, the sacks, they're nowhere to be found. Anthony Richardson, with a lesser year, is higher in the MVP list. I'm not going to complain about it, though. Rookie of the Year, James Moss on defense. Best QB, or best running back, number 2. Best QB, number 4. Best wide receiver, number 5. Best O-line at number 1. Joe Tooney's a superstar, I believe. Bortoloni is a 5. Or Bortolini is number 5. Silva, number 10. D-line, number 6 and 10. Linebacker, nope. DB, nope. Kicker, 4. All right, here it is. The Patriots versus the Colts. A couple of classic matchups in the past, obviously. Darius Slay is there, but this is a team that I'm not really sure how they're here. And it's going to be so fun when they show us exactly how. But hey, win or lose, at least we're getting some playoff berths before the final season. I've been hating those rebuilds like the last one we just had. It was an insane ending. Don't get me wrong. It was all worth it in the end, but I really hate those rebuilds where it's like nothing, nothing, nothing. Oh, we get to the Super Bowl. It's like, cool, I guess. Although I will say, win-loss-wise, it's been nothing, 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 as the Patriots are in a really good position, good punt, defense, to win this game, but no, they will not. The defense holds on. The offense has just enough of a sustained drive. And finally, we win a playoff game. Anthony Richardson getting outplayed by May, kind of, because I gotta say kind of, because rushing-wise, Jonathan Taylor did take a little bit of the stats from him, which is fine. We like a balanced game. Pay and Latu, fair enough. Interceptions, no. I don't know why it came to my head. I was like, the edge rushers on our team have 8 letters total for their last name. It's like, yes, thank you. Now stop eating the glue. Let's see who's in the divisional round. Could it be the Chiefs? We're a pretty high seed. I doubt it, right? The Baltimore Ravens, not much better, but definitely better, as the Chiefs have lost 1 game in the last 2 seasons. Hopefully someone has taken them out by now, though, because if we beat this Ravens team, I do not want to be just another random name on the list of victims. As we don't know. The Dolphins versus the Chiefs. I mean, let's be realistic, but we also just don't know. Come on, Colts. Beat the Ravens. Nice stop with a touchdown. We love to see it. They're driving out. They get a touchdown. Second quarter. It's really kind of looking like it's slightly them, but no, we get the lead. Interception. Doesn't matter, though. The defense holds on. 21-7. 21-10. One more touchdown could do it, and I think it will. 28-10. No touchdowns for Lamar with 2 interceptions. We obviously threw a pick as well. Defensive battle, which we don't mind because we won. I mean, I don't really care what kind of battle it is as long as we're on the winning side. And yeah, some interceptions. We won. We did just enough. I can't wait to be devastated. Come on, Miami. Do it, please. Of course. Was it at least a close game? Of course, they didn't have to play in this round. It was a 3-point game. Okay, fair enough. What did the Dolphins do in the first round? They won by 6 against the team that beat us last year. I don't know what to think. I mean, that was not a great performance in Week 1. Week 2 was a little bit better, but the offense wasn't great. I'm not super stoked. 1 overall difference, but 1 is also the amount of losses they've had in 2 seasons, which is definitely insane. Haven't really seen that kind of success in many of our rebuilds. Like, even when we had, like, 3-peat rebuild wins, we've had losses in between during the season. But the Chiefs, not really. They've just dominated. End of the game. Looks like we got a stop to start the game just like last week, although it was only 3 points. Still, we hold them to 7. I don't know why I said hold them to 7. We get a touchdown. I don't know if we went for 2, but either way, it's a 6-point game. Now a 1-point game. Safety, they're up by 5. I don't know what the hell's happening, but it is a close game. I think we have left a lot of points on the board with 2-point conversion failures. Can't confirm, but we will find out. They fail the 2-point. lot of extra points and whatnot left on the board with failed 2-point conversions. A touchdown would win it, and we win! The whole NFL world is on their feet rooting for this Colts team. For them to do what they just did against the Chiefs, who have just dominated the league, and then the last 2 seasons really dominated the league, there's no one. I mean, even this team's division, probably, that would be like, hell no, damn, I really wish the Chiefs would have won again. Like, I don't want to sound like entitled, but if we lose after beating the teams we did, specifically that Chiefs team, I'm going to be devastated. I don't even care if it's the Cowboys, which is not. It's the Bears. I mean, now I really got to see this. Who the hell did the Bears play? That's kind of wild. I mean, I kept seeing their team win, but like, really? Chicago beat Dallas, which is impressive. Then they beat Carolina by only 6, which who cares? Then they beat Minnesota by 7, which, I mean, Minnesota's been having some success in rebuilds lately. I will say, I am definitely glad it is not the Cowboys. That's really all I can say about that. DevOps, no to Pittman, which is really shocking and unfortunate. Latu goes up to Superstar X Factor, and Moss goes to Superstar. So some actual pretty damn good upgrades in Dev, especially for the D-line. Latu, I mean, it's really just the bar is set so damn low that 8 sacks gets you a Dev up, apparently. But we'll take it, absolutely. James Moss seems to be a good damn draft pick. But here it is for all the marbles. We have 2 overalls on them. They're technically the home team. Let's see if we can win a Super Bowl. Playing in Miami. No turnover to start the game. We both get touchdowns. Nice stop. 7-point lead. 14 all. We're kind of controlling the clock. Oh, we had a chance there. It's all right, though. 7-point lead, 7-point lead. 14-point lead's even better. Only up by 7 again, though. The Bears have a chance to drive down. They don't. We're driving on the field. The touchdown should win it. And despite their efforts, the Indianapolis Colts have won a Super Bowl. 35-28 over the Bears. The Bears suffer another Super Bowl defeat against the Colts. What are honestly the odds of us going to the Super Bowl against the Bears and just winning? Like, what are the actual odds of like this rematch happening? It's been so many times like that with these rebuilds where, you know, something like that, a matchup that was pretty historic. I mean, I can't even really say historic, but for them, for, you know, these two teams head-to-head wise, you know, and it just happens. Like, how many times have we seen that now? And it's just like, it's almost scripted. It's weird. It's strange. But, hey, Anthony Richardson is hoisting a Lombardi, and the Indianapolis Colts are back on top. They have found their quarterback. Hopefully this one lasts a little bit more seasons than the last one, their last franchise quarterback. But let's take a look at those numbers. Obviously, Caleb Williams statistically way outperformed Anthony Richardson, but I would go out on a limb and say that probably a lot of rushing success. 3 rushing touchdowns for Jonathan Taylor, 1 for Ford, so it kind of seemed like they just punched it in at the goal line. So really just stolen touchdowns, really, which I don't think Anthony Richardson gives a singular damn about. Latu with a sack, interceptions for Winthrop, what a name, and Perkins, and no one else. I mean, who would have won MVP in this one? Probably Jonathan Taylor. I almost argue that DJ Moore wins Super Bowl MVP even though they lost. Because even though Taylor had 3 touchdowns, the yards per carry were terrible. I actually really want to see that now. Like, I'm really curious to see who won that award. League history, let's take a look. MVP, probably Taylor, and it is Jonathan Taylor. Kind of just forced to give it to the winner, I suppose. But yeah, we win a Super Bowl with the Colts. I've seen them have success, but not always win the Super Bowl. To beat the Chiefs, who were, you know, basically like 30-something and 1, 35-0 technically at the time, whatever the hell it was, is ridiculous. So damn clutch. So proud of this team. And, you know, this team has a future. You know, their cap situation's not too bad. We paid everyone we wanted to outside of Pittman, who didn't even get to Superstar, so is that even a bad thing? Mitchell, 87 overall at 1. Downs, 88 overall at 2 is perfectly fine with Bernard in the slot. But let's take a look at the players that we got here anyways. Anthony Richardson, 93 overall. Deep accuracy's terrible, which is crazy because he's got great throw power, but everything else is amazing. What are his abilities? First one free. Clutch, jukebox, gutsy scrambler, safety valve, and quick draw. A lot of, like, scrambler / running traits, I suppose. Jonathan Taylor, though, 96 speed, 96 excel, 89 juke, 95 stiff truck, 98 stiff arm. Would definitely love to see that juke move up a little bit more, but he is really good. Pittman, the 91 overall, 28 years old. Really good outside of deep route, even medium's it's a little low, but he's really good at short route stuff. I mean, he is pretty hard to defend against. Even in practice, it's really tough when you actually go against him physically. Really hard to stop that jump ball, but Adonai Mitchell with 94 speed, 94 excel, very fast, decent catching, good short and medium route, just never got the release or the deep route up, but he's still really good, obviously. And then Josh Downs, the 88 overall we just talked about. Release, still a problem as well, 90 short, 90 medium, very good catching. It's just the release. The release of this team is just so bad. But let's take a look at some of the players from this team. Bernard Ryman, pretty good blocking. I almost feel like I've never said his first name. Like ever. I didn't even know it was a thing. Quentin Nelson, I thought he was just Ryman. But Quentin Nelson, finesse blocking is not the best, but he's still really, really good. Even that finesse blocking 85 plus is fine. Tooney does go to Superstar. Probably sticks around for one more season. Amazing pass blocker. Totally worth the investment. Got us over the hump, it feels. Braden Smith, 88 overall, 30 years old. Really good blocking besides finesse block for pass block, but still a really good blocker, obviously. And then we'll take a look at the super tight end, Paul Young. Was he worth it? I don't know, but he's really good, so I'm not going to complain about it, because obviously we had a really good backup tight end in Kingsbury, 81 overall, and he's only 23 going on 24. He's starter caliber as well. Maybe the depth is just great, though, anyways. Defensively, obviously Whitworth was going to get up there, 92 overall, and he's only about to be 24. Crazy coverage, crazy block shed, crazy tackling, insanely fast. What a goon. What an absolute goon. Let's take a look at Loftus, who really hasn't developed super well. Young, but still hasn't developed that well. And then we move over to the other outside linebacker, Thorne, who is an 81 overall, Mitchell Thorne. Pretty good block shed, pretty good coverage. Man coverage is terrible. Catching's not great, but zone and block shed are pretty damn good. Then we look at the safeties. I wanted to look at Nick Cross. I know he slowed down a little bit, but Floyd, really good zone coverage, insanely athletic. Not quite the hit power, but Bob Sanders is back, baby. Nick Cross, only 24, going on 25, 87 overall, 88 zone, super athletic. Hit power is there. Finally worthy of starting him. He finally developed. Finally. Peter Bowens was back up for a while, and now the starting corner with insane man coverage, 95, man. Then we look over at Mr. Perkins, the 83 overall, Vernon Perkins. Really good man corner as well. It's kind of, the trend for most of the corners we draft. Then we look at the D-line. Let's go to Pay first. 27 years old, 87 power move, pretty athletic, good strength, or really good strength, I suppose, for an edge rusher. Up and down seasons, no one's really been able to get double digits, unfortunately. Latu, very good power guy as well, insanely athletic, X Factor. Then we look at the DTs, don't really need to look at Buckner, but I suppose James Moss, who we recently looked at anyways. Very good block shed, decent power move. Like I said, basically a replacement for Stewart, straight 1-to-1. Just feels like, Grover Stewart's back. But anyways, if you guys enjoy this one, maybe leave a like, subscribe if you're new. If you're not new, I do appreciate continued support on the channel. Maybe follow me on Twitter, Jeromepkr, second channel, PKR Plays for non-Madden content. Maybe something over there on that channel, speaking of tomorrow, perhaps. Regardless, though, will be a couple videos on the weekend. Check those out. And if there's a team you want to see next, let me know in the comment section below. I'm, threw a couple of polls in there, but I was too busy stripping on them. But yeah, sometimes the teams aren't listed that you want to see, so let me know. And that's about it. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys come back for next video. But until next video,